Hello again and welcome. I'm here with Frank Puletua this week, former Penrith and South Sydney front rower. Frank, we're also here in the museum. You're the museum curator, believe it or not, a man of many talents, in front of these 2014 jerseys.
Yeah, we've got the final four clubs here that are obviously playing in the semi-final. So it's very exciting for us. Exciting time for the museum, and obviously exciting time for these clubs here, especially the Panthers.
Well, let's start with the Friday night matchup between the Rabbitohs and Roosters. This is a finals clash that's been almost 80 years in the making. I think the last time they met each other in the finals was in 1938. Yes,
obviously a long time between drinks there, but I guess from the South Sydney perspective, there's a lot to achieve in terms of playing against the Roosters, and if the South Sydney Rabbitohs can ultimately get over over the top of their their foes from across the road, I think it'd be a very satisfying move or win before the grand final. But I think from a sentimental perspective, a lot of people, including myself, would like to see the Rabbitohs get up.
They're two very massive packs in great form. That battle between the forward packs is going to be one the fans are really looking forward to. You'd know that as being a former front rower yourself.
Yeah, no, certainly. I'm glad I'm not playing in the middle, against these two packs, because you've got some really good players. When you've got players, the calibre of Jared Waerea-Hargreaves and Sam Moe, who's in fantastic form, and then on the other side of that, you've got the Burgess brothers, and now we've got Benny Teo coming back into the fray for the Rabbitohs. It makes for a really exciting contest.
And then in 2004, you were a part of the squad, the Panthers squad that went through to the semi-finals, and they actually ended up playing the Bulldogs in a preliminary final. That was the last time those two sides met.
There were a few defining moments from that match, and I remember, probably the most defining from our perspective was the fact that Reece Wester was sent off towards the back end of the match, and that really sort of killed any sort of momentum that we could have gained in having him on the field, because he obviously was in great form in 2003 and 2004. So unfortunate way to go out, but obviously the Bulldogs went on to win that competition, and they deserved to do so.
Do you think now going into this game on Saturday night, the Panthers v Bulldogs, do you think there's still a bit of that bitter rivalry there because of that history, that game that you say you should have won?
One of the things that, as a former Panther player, I know for a fact that we generally love playing against the teams that we're in close proximity to. So, we love playing against the Parramatta Eels. We absolutely love playing against the Bulldogs. I think that when we have, a mixture of people that come in and supporting both clubs, it creates a great atmosphere, and it's something that I really look forward to taking part of. Now I'm on the other side of the fence. I really enjoy just watching the two teams sort of, fight it out.
Well, they're both in great form as well, but the Bulldogs, their main playmaker, Trent Hodkinson, is going to be playing through a bit of a knee injury. Do you think that's a blow for them?
He is, he's a quality player, and he's obviously shown now that he's almost at the peak of his powers. Really, he's represented his state, effectively winning the actual origin for the state. With some key plays there, and he's a quality player, but right across the board for the Bulldogs. I mean, you can't go past their halves pairing as well as their their back three quarter. I mean, they've got some really good, exciting players in their team, and they've also got a bumper pack as well.
What would it mean for the people in Penrith and out in Sydney's west there for the Panthers to get through to the grand final?
It'll mean a lot. I mean, when we look at the four teams that are competing this weekend, effectively when we get to the grand final, it will be East versus West. So, I'm hoping for the Panthers to get through, obviously, but what it means, to the people back at Penrith, it's shown, I think, in the win in '91 and the win in 2003 is when you get back to the club, you can't, you literally cannot move, within that whole precinct. It's a very exciting time. People are very proud, and it's been a long time again between drinks for a club like Penrith since the last premiership, so it's probably time for another one.
If they are victorious on Saturday night, who would you like to see them play against, the Rabbitohs or the Roosters?
I'd like to see the Rabbitohs in there, yeah. So, and then, my loyalties will be split, but it'll be split like 90% to 10%. So, I wouldn't say that you know, I'd write off the Roosters, you know, as yet, because I know that, you know, they're a quality team. But I think, you know, for a lot of the supporters out there that support other teams, you know, I think a lot of people would like to see the Rabbitohs there. And if they're playing against the Panthers, then I'm happy.
Well, I'd certainly like to see the Rabbitohs and Panthers there for the grand final too. Frank, thanks for sharing your insights, and I'll see you next week for the grand final preview.